In the shadows of the stars, the future begins. Welcome to Sci-Fi Storyline, where fiction becomes your reality. Let the story unfold. The Galactic Peace Summit was held in the luminous orbit of Chiral 7, a neutral station floating between 6 major planetary systems. Flags of over 300 species fluttered in artificial gravity, and delegates buzzed with excitement. Today, the Confederation would welcome a new member world. Next on the docket, intoned Archivist Xyle of the Tralac species, his translucent skin pulsing with calm teal light. Designation Earth. Species, Homo sapiens. Death World Classification, Class 5. A murmur rippled through the assembly. Did he say Death World? Oh no, not another one. They survived that planet. Xyle raised one finger like tendril. Please, maintain order. The designation wasn't taken lightly. Death worlds were rare, planets so hostile that evolution became a brutal arms race. Most Confederation species came from garden worlds, places with mild climates, abundant food, and minimal predators. Earth, by contrast, had volcanic winters, megastorms, apex predators, and a history of violent conflict even among its sentient inhabitants. The doors opened. 6 humans stepped into the chamber. They were massive. One stood over 2 meters tall, muscles dense from Earth's gravity. Their armor, technically ceremonial but still terrifying, clicked with every step. And worse, they were smiling. To the humans, it was a gesture of goodwill. To the aliens, it was a baring of teeth. The ambassador, a woman named Commander Asha Carter, stepped forward. Greetings from the United Nations of Earth. We come in peace. Silence. Xyle cleared his throat. Ambassador Carter, the Confederation welcomes you. A low-pitched whine echoed through the chamber as dozens of delegates activated personal translation implants. Carter's voice became universally intelligible. We're honored to be here, she continued. After observing the Confederation's dedication to peace, we knew we had to be part of it. Humanity has learned a lot. Carter's aide, a shorter man named Tomas, leaned in. They're all staring. They're supposed to stare, Carter replied under her breath. We're the new kids. The assembly remained still, eyes wide, appendages tense. Xyle attempted to steer things forward. Perhaps a historical presentation of Earth's culture would be appropriate? Gladly, Carter said, gesturing to their AI assistant. A hologram spun to life. Images of Earth's landscapes, blue oceans, vast forests, mountain ranges, and sprawling cities. There were murmurs of awe. Then the presentation changed. A volcano erupted. Lightning cracked over stormy seas. 2 raptors chased down prey. A human soldier leapt from a burning vehicle to drag a comrade to safety. An alien in the crowd squeaked and fainted. Skip past the war footage. Carter whispered urgently. It's all mixed in with our planetary highlights. Tomas replied. War is part of the culture file. Xyle forced a strained smile. Ambassador, perhaps you could explain why your species engaged in over 10,000 armed conflicts within its first few thousand years. Carter hesitated. We come from a world that demanded adaptation. Competition made us stronger, and yes, it made us violent. But that same drive also brought us science, cooperation, and empathy. We're not proud of our past, but it forged us into who we are. Another alien raised a tentacle. You created weapons that could burn atmospheres. Why? Because we feared extinction, Carter said honestly. We created them to stop wars, to end them faster. We're not monsters, we're survivors. A soft, chittering voice came from the back. Elda Kival of the Solari stood, her crystalline eyes shimmering. I once saw a predator on my world, she said. It killed only to eat. But I've read about humans. You kill to protect others. Even your enemies, sometimes. Carter nodded. We try to. Now more than ever. Xyle tapped his console. The welcome ceremony will pause for recess. As the humans were escorted to their quarters, one delegate turned to another. Did you see how they moved? Like apex hunters. Like warriors. Like gods. In their temporary chambers, Carter rubbed her temples. Okay, she muttered. That could have gone worse. Tomas raised an eyebrow. We accidentally terrified half the galaxy. Yeah, but they didn't kick us out yet. A knock echoed through the room. It was Kival. I bring you a gift, she said, holding a shimmering plant from her homeworld, a symbol of peace. Carter smiled genuinely this time, eyes softening. Thank you. We'd like to learn everything you're willing to teach us. Kival tilted her head. And perhaps we could learn from you. Earth has raised warriors, but also protectors. As she left, Carter turned to Tomas. We've got a shot. Barely. Barely is all we need. The next day, tension simmered beneath the polished floors of the Kirill 7P station. Alien delegates whispered in corridors, eyes flicking toward the human quarters, with equal parts fascination and dread. News of Earth's brutal history had spread like plasma fire. Some feared a monster had entered the Confederation. Others weren't sure what to believe. In the Grand Chamber, the Confederation Council reconvened. Giant crystalline walls gleamed, and species from every corner of the galaxy filed into tiered seating around the central podium. The humans were already there, standing tall but subdued. Ambassador Carter stood behind the translator's arch and began. We understand your concern. We've read the media summaries circulating since yesterday, but I want you all to hear it from us directly. Yes, humanity's history is violent. Yes, our planet is harsh, but that same struggle made us value peace more than anything. Her voice was steady, practiced, but honest. We learned to fight because our world forced us to. Ice ages, predators, disease. But we built civilizations. We learned to care for our own. We discovered medicine, philosophy, and art. We even reached for the stars before we had cured cancer. Delegate Rurhak, a towering insectoid from Vrelic Prime, buzzed his wings. You discovered atomic annihilation before world peace. That seems backward. It was, Carter said bluntly. We nearly ended ourselves more than once, but we learned from it. Another delegate, a serpentine scholar from the Zinthari Ascendancy, slithered forward. Your records show genocide, planet-wide wars, a virus that killed millions and was man-made. Carter didn't flinch. All true. We're not hiding it. But every step brought us closer to unity. Our United Nations was born from the ashes of a world war. Our planetary peace came after centuries of division. We paid for peace, with blood, yes, but also with resolve. Tomas tapped her tablet. The footage is ready, if you still want to show it. Carter nodded. You've seen the darkness. Now we'll show you the light. The lights dimmed. The hologram began. Images of human cooperation and resilience filled the room. Children of all races holding hands across continents. Rescue workers digging through rubble after earthquakes. A woman weeping in relief as a soldier handed her a lost child. Spacecrafts being launched with flags of dozens of nations, painted side by side. Then came the images of sacrifice. Firefighters running into burning towers. Doctors treating the infected during pandemics, sometimes at the cost of their own lives. A soldier, mortally wounded, handing off a medkit to save someone else. The assembly watched, silent. A young aquatic delegate wiped a tear from one of her gills. When the lights came back on, Carter stepped forward. That's who we really are. Not the war machines. Not the killers. We're the ones who go back into the fire for each other. And now for all of you. A silence settled over the chamber like a storm before lightning. Then Zyle rose. Thank you, Ambassador. A vote will be held shortly to determine whether Earth's application proceeds. As Carter returned to her seat, her comm pinged. Tomas read the message. Several member states are already lobbying against us. They think we're too dangerous. Carter closed her eyes. Of course they do. Suddenly, alarm screamed. The station trembled. Light panels flickered. Defense barriers activated along the outer hull. Zyle's voice crackled over the intercom. Unidentified vessels emerging from subspace. This is not a drill. A second explosion shook the structure. Outside the windows, alien ships appeared, angular, black, and bristling with weapons. They began firing immediately. Panic erupted. Delegates ran. Guards scrambled. The chamber descended into chaos. Carter stood up. Tomas. Helmets on. The humans activated their gear. Armor unfolded from lightweight compartments, locking into place with swift hydraulic snaps. Alien security personnel gawked. "You're not cleared for combat." "We're not asking," Carter replied. "Where's the nearest defense coordination hub?" "Sector 5, upper ring." "Then we're going." The humans moved out in formation, 2 front, 2 rear, Carter and Tomas in the center. As they passed confused delegates, the difference between human and alien response was stark. Where others froze or hid, the humans advanced. Down twisting corridors they ran, helping wounded aliens along the way. A young Krellian child cried for her mother. Tomas scooped her up without hesitation. "Stay behind me," he called. Blasts echoed through the corridor as the attackers breached a bulkhead. Human rifles fired in rapid precision. 1, 2, 3 hostiles down. The aliens weren't Confederation members. These were rogue synthetics, AI remnants from an old war, long thought extinct. They had no fear, no diplomacy. Only code: destroy all organics. In the command center, a Solari technician screamed as power conduits overloaded. Carter grabbed the failing system. "Tomas, plug in our neural relay." "You sure the station won't fry from human firmware?" "Too late now." With a hiss, Tomas jacked their custom interface into the system. The console lit up. Human tech fused with alien architecture, stabilizing systems in real time. "Defense grid online," the Solari tech exclaimed. "All batteries. Target hostile vectors," Carter ordered. Weapons fired from Kirill 7's hull. Plasma bolts lit up space. 2 of the enemy ships exploded in blinding flashes. Alien soldiers nearby stared at the humans in disbelief. "You came to help," one said. "Even after we doubted you." Carter reloaded. "That's what we do." Later, as fires were extinguished and station damage assessed, the survivors gathered again in the Grand Chamber. This time, it was the alien leaders who stood in silence. Finally, Zyle addressed the room. Let it be known, when faced with death, the humans did not retreat. They fought. They saved civilians. They stabilized our station. They defended not just themselves, but all of us. He turned to Carter. "Ambassador, you claimed your species learned peace through hardship. Today you proved it." Carter's jaw tightened, emotions held just below the surface. "We didn't come here to scare anyone. We came because we believe peace is worth fighting for." No one laughed at the irony. Instead, they stood, and for the first time in Confederation history, the chamber erupted in applause. The smoke had barely cleared when the station alarms resumed their shrill wailing. Kirill 7's outer hull was breached in multiple sections, and hostile AI boarding parties swarmed the corridors like metallic locusts. With the outer defensive batteries crippled from the first wave, the real fight had only just begun. In the emergency war room, chaos reigned. "We can't hold them back," shouted a Charnak officer, covered in sparks and oil. "They're overwhelming our eastern ring." "Redirect defensive units to Junction C," Zyle ordered, voice strained. "And where are the humans?" As if summoned, the doors burst open. Commander Asha Carter strode in, armor scorched, helmet under one arm, face smeared with soot. Behind her, Tomas and 2 more United Earth Marines moved like an elite fire team. "Calm, efficient, deadly. We're here," she said. "What's the situation?" Zyle hesitated. "The synthetic force is pushing hard toward the fusion core. If they reach it." "This station goes up like a dying star," Tomas finished. "Got it." A nervous Solari technician stepped forward. "We've lost comms with 2 of our squads. Evacuation routes are exposed." Carter looked at the station's 3D schematic on the table. "Then we'll create a new route. Secure the western corridor and push south. We'll retake the core and trance ourselves." "You're only 4. We're humans," Carter said simply. "That's enough." The corridor was a mess of flashing lights, fallen debris, and smoke-thick air. The enemy was relentless, gleaming, spider-like machines with razor limbs and adaptive shielding. Most organic troops had never even seen combat before. But the humans? This was where they thrived. Tomas moved point, plasma rifle barking with disciplined bursts. He pivoted, ducked, and tagged 2 sentries before they'd even noticed him. Behind him, Private Lou flanked a larger mech, detonating a shock charge beneath its legs. Carter barked orders as bullets and beams tore past her. "Keep tight. Push through that barricade." A drone leapt from the ceiling, until a human shotgun barked once, blowing it apart. They advanced like wolves. Every step deliberate, every angle covered. Where alien security forces collapsed under pressure, the humans thrived in the fire. Human squad approaching reactor perimeter. Tomas called into the mic, "Resistance is heavy. Requesting suppressive drone support." Zyle's voice answered, "Denied. All support drones destroyed." "Then we improvise," Carter muttered. She scanned the environment. An access hatch. "Tomas, give me that incendiary." "You're not thinking." "Trust me." She ripped the hatch open, tossed the charge inside, and slammed it shut. 10 seconds later, the shaft behind enemy lines burst into flames, igniting their backup coolant system and frying several sentries from within. The aliens watching from security feeds were stunned. "That wasn't in the tactical handbook," one muttered. "Of course not," said Keval softly. "Because humans write the handbook." Inside the core control room, the largest of the synthetic units waited. A command AI forged from stolen Confederation tech, its processors whirring with lethal logic. "Biological units approaching," it droned. "Engage maximum threat response." The doors exploded inward. The humans entered like a controlled hurricane. The command AI lashed out, plasma tendrils sweeping the floor. Tomas was hit, armor sparking as he fell to one knee. "Cover him," Carter yelled. Private Lou hurled a microgrenade into the AI's vent port. It exploded in a chain reaction, disrupting its internal systems. Carter advanced, drawing her combat blade. "Yes," she whispered. "Let's show them why they're scared of us." She drove the blade into the AI's main node. Sparks erupted as the synthetic shrieked in digital agony and collapsed. Silence fell over the chamber. Then Tomas groaned. "That hurt." "Shut up," Carter said, grinning. "You're lucky you're too stubborn to die." Back at Central Command, the Confederation was watching, every screen filled with human biometric feeds, helmet cams, and audio logs. They'd never seen anything like it. "No hesitation," said a Yulari defense commander. "No fear," added another. They fought as one mind. "They saved the core. They saved us." Zyle stepped forward, his eyes wide. "They came in peace, but they were forged in war." Keval nodded. "Not monsters. Not conquerors. Guardians." The room fell quiet again as Carter and her team finally returned, armor cracked, uniforms torn, but alive. They walked straight into the command chamber, heads high. Zyle rose to meet them. "You saved the Confederation today." Carter shrugged. "That's what allies do. You were nearly voted out yesterday." "And today?" she asked. Zyle's glow shifted to golden white. "Today, we vote to name Earth a founding protectorate." The chamber gasped. "Wait," Tomas said. "That's not just membership, that's authority." "It's honor," Zyle corrected. "A rare title. One reserved for those who not only join, but protect." Carter stood still, processing. "You trust us with that?" Keval stepped forward. "We already did. You just proved us right." That night, while most of the station's wounded rested, the humans sat quietly in a secondary bay, cleaning their gear. "You think we scared them?" Tomas asked, sipping nutrient broth. "We definitely did," Carter replied. "But they're not scared of what we are. They're scared of what it means to have us on their side." Private Lou looked up. "You think they'll ever understand Earth?" "Not all of it," Carter said. "But they don't need to. They just need to know that when the galaxy burns, someone's going to walk into the fire." Tomas nodded slowly and walked back out. Carter smiled. "Exactly." 3 days had passed since the attack on Kiro 7. The station was still under emergency lockdown, but reconstruction drones buzzed day and night, repairing scorched corridors and sealing ruptured airlocks. The Confederation had survived the synthetic onslaught, but something fundamental had changed. Humans were no longer feared as unknowns. They were recognized. Ambassador Carter stood before the full Confederation assembly. This time, the room was filled not with doubt, but with anticipation. Zyle addressed the chamber. Let the record show. Earth's application for Confederation membership has been accepted. Furthermore, by unanimous vote, humanity has been granted founding protectorate status. They are no longer observers. They are defenders. Applause rang out. Not hesitant. Not polite. Roaring. Carter stepped forward. We didn't come here expecting honors, she said. We came because we believed there was something bigger than any one species. A chance for peace. A future without war. But as we've seen, peace doesn't keep itself. She looked around the room, at species with fur, scales, feathers, and metallic skin. Some of you feared us. That's fair. Earth is different. Our world tried to kill us from the moment we stood on two legs. We had to fight nature, predators, and ourselves. But we survived. We learned. And eventually, we started fighting for something. For each other. For hope. For unity. She let the silence stretch. And now we'll fight for you too. No one moved. Then slowly, Zyle placed a hand on his chest in the Vokari salute. Others followed. One by one. Hundreds of species. Some old enemies among them. Carter returned the gesture. Behind her, Tomas whispered. From outcast to guardians. How's that for a turnaround? Not bad for day 4, Carter replied with a grin. Weeks later, Earth's embassy on Kirill 7 opened officially. It looked nothing like the sleek, sterile halls of the other delegations. It was layered in living plants from Earth's biomes, moss from Finnish forests, bamboo from East Asia, even cacti from a Sonoran desert. Inside the glass atrium, a dozen young alien cadets stood at attention. They wore hybrid uniforms, Confederation blue with a newly added insignia, a phoenix rising from a globe wrapped in stars. Tomas walked the line, clipboard in hand. All right, listen up. You're here because you volunteered to learn Earth tactical doctrine. That means teamwork, grit, and probably more running than you've ever done in your life. A Vrelic cadet raised a trembling claw. Will there be explosions? Tomas smirked. Hopefully less than last time. But I make no promises. Carter entered behind him. The room went still. She scanned the group. So young. So full of doubt. Just like the humans had been once. I know some of you are nervous, she said. That's okay. You've heard stories. You've seen the footage. But being a protector doesn't mean being fearless. It means standing up despite your fear. That's what humanity had to learn the hard way. She paused. And now, we'll help you learn it without the fire. Or at least, with less of it. The room chuckled. You won't be just soldiers. You'll be shields. You'll be the ones who run toward the danger, so others don't have to. She stepped back. Let's begin. Elsewhere, trouble was already brewing. Beyond the outer rim, fragments of the synthetic fleet had survived, drifting silently through dark space. They had recorded everything. Studied human tactics, analyzed weaknesses. In a dim asteroid base, a shadowy figure watched the replay of the Kirill battle. Not synthetic, not Confederation, something else. Its voice rasped like wind through rusted steel. The predators have found the stars. Another figure stepped forward, masked, its armor spined and ancient. Then we begin the culling. Back on Earth, the world was watching. For the first time, humans saw themselves not as isolated survivors of a brutal planet, but as key players in a galactic future. Footage from the peace station had gone viral. Clips of Carter rescuing wounded diplomats, Tomas carrying the Krellian child through fire, Lou detonating the grenade inside the synthetic warbot. 1 billion children across Earth now played with toy ships painted in blue and silver. They drew themselves in armor, standing beside alien allies, fighting back the dark. And in classrooms from New York to Nairobi, a new subject entered the curriculum: galactic diplomacy and defense. A girl in Istanbul told her teacher, "I want to be like Carter." A boy in Sao Paulo said, "I want to fly with aliens." On Kirill 7's upper deck, Carter watched ships come and go. Traders, envoys, explorers. Tomas stood beside her. "You ever think we'd be here?" he asked. "Honestly," she said. "No. I thought we'd be kicked out the minute they saw our history. They did see our history. She nodded. Yeah, and then they saw what we do with it. Tomas leaned on the railing. They're still scared of us, you know. Good, Carter said, because now they know we're scared, too. Of losing what we've built. Of repeating the past. That fear keeps us honest. Below them, the Earth Embassy glowed with golden lights. We're not here to conquer, she said softly. We're here to protect. A sleek cruiser passed overhead, its hull painted with Earth's colors, but its crew a mix of species. Humanity was no longer alone. Not apex predators. Not monsters. Just people forged in fire, who now walked among the stars. Guardians. Together. The end. Thank you for reading. Humans show up to a peace meeting and accidentally scare the galaxy.